Hello everybody, today let's talk about how to use BPC-157, which is probably the most popular peptide nowadays. We've done quite a few videos on BPC-157 already, probably more than I'd like to admit, so if you're new here, make sure to check those out. For my returning viewers, always great to see you back here, and for everyone, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel. It's the best and only way to support a small YouTuber like myself. So back to peptides. BPC-157, as we've said plenty of times here, is a stable gastric pentadecapeptide derived from human gastric acid, which in non-pretentious terms means it's a peptide composed of 15 amino acids that remains stable or non-reactive in our stomach's own physiologic environment, which is important and not only ties into why it's so heavily investigated for gastrointestinal issues, but also why we can take it as a pill. That's why rodent studies have shown significant success with orally administered BPC-157 given through drinking water, and it's shown ability to enhance healing of diabetic wounds and multiple different types of fistulas administered as such. And so BPC-157 was made into an arginate salt form, which has proven to maintain increased stability at higher temperature and lower pH. In the way we describe pH, a lower pH means more acidic environment, while a higher one means a more basic environment. Therefore, my first recommendation is, if you're going to use BPC-157 by mouth, 1. Use the arginate salt form, this is a no-brainer, and 2. Although I'm tempted to say take it while you're full because the stomach's pH is a bit higher, which would delay breakdown of BPC-157, if you're using the arginate salt form, this is more of a non-issue given the fact that it exhibits longer lasting stability and decreased breakdown even at pH as low as 3, which is below the resting physiologic pH of the stomach. So I would say that as long as you're not taking it during a meal, it likely won't have an effect when you do. Now, like many of the peptides we discuss, I imagine BPC-157 is most predominantly used via subcutaneous injection, so let's discuss injections a little bit more. One thing you'll notice when you look up oral BPC-157 arginate in comparison with injectable powder, you'll come to the conclusion that, like myself, the pills are much more expensive, especially if we're going with a trusted seller here, which can be totally hard to find. For instance, you may be able to get 15 milligrams of oral BPC on average in the $150s to mid $300, while 15 milligrams of pure peptide to mix and inject yourself will probably cost you in the 150 to 160 range pretty consistently, if not even a bit cheaper. On a side note, I was thinking about doing a video about how to reconstitute peptides and do the quick mathematics to figure out how much reconstitution solution or bacteriostatic water you need to mix with the peptide powder itself. If this is something you would find helpful, please just let me know in the comments. There's not much in the way of research assessing subcutaneous and intramuscular availability of BPC-157 in terms of numbers, but it is likely similar. The benefits of subcutaneous injection in particular is that it's easy for a commoner like myself, it's short and quick, bypasses the gastrointestinal breakdown of compounds that could ultimately limit bioavailability, and in the peptide space, many feel it's quite effective. One thing to note is that you'll see many people say inject it as close to the site of injury as possible. I'm willing to take the heat on this one, but I'll come out and say that it sounds pretty BS-y. It sounds like bro science, as when you inject subcutaneously or intramuscularly, it's entering systemic circulation. I'm certainly a fan of biohacking, but for the sake of this video, I've got to draw a line at some point. That said, as you all know by now, I really like BPC-157, and I think that there are some questions out there in particular about oral use, and I hope this video helps to clarify some of those things, and maybe you even found it educational or entertaining. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll catch you soon.